Right. So I believe we are good to go. Awesome, guys. Thanks everybody for coming along. Everybody on Zoom, welcome. It's going to be a pretty interesting night. I know it's a Tuesday night, or wherever in the world you're watching this. If you're watching a recording, thank you for coming along. Anybody on Zoom, I do have a very special present for everybody. Can everybody on Facebook hear me? Just watch something in the type something into the comments section there before I get too carried away. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so everybody who's registered on Zoom, hang around to the end. I'm going to have a very special gift for everybody who has registered. So hang around for that one. People watching on Facebook, how are we all? Thank you for joining us. You're going to have to forgive me on this one. It's the first time I'm going to stream through Facebook. But yeah, no, cool. Tonight's all about supplements, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can. What have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different topics that we're looking at. It's such a huge market. Well, first of all, before, if you happen to be watching this on a recording, or if you don't know who I am, my name is Jason. I am the director of ProFit International Health and Fitness. I've been in the industry a very long time. I think 15 years. 15 years this year with ProFit. I've been in the industry in one way, shape, or form a little bit longer than that. Supplementation plays a huge role in any sort of fitness or even health transformation. But the trouble is that we don't necessarily have we don't necessarily have the nutrition to complement it. So for a lot of people out there, you're wasting your money with supplements. I'm going to be quite honest here. I'm not going to mince my words on anything. But we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you as much info as I can on various things. So keep in mind that this is so for a requirement for supplementation, you need to be getting the best out of your regular nutrition first of all. Yeah. So how that works, obviously reach out to me. We'll work out your macronutrients. We'll work out a nutritional plan for you. We can sit down and have a chat and do all the fun stuff there. Awesome. So tonight we're going to make the assumption that your nutrition is spot on. It is working a treat for you. It's just about speeding up the process, I guess, is the correct term that I'm looking for. They're called supplements for a reason. So they're going to supplement your existing nutrition, like I keep saying there. You're going to get sick of hearing that through the night. But nutrition needs to be spot on before you even consider supplementation. Now, I want to make things clear. I am not a GP. My phone bill calls me a doctor, but I am not legally a GP. So for a lot of this stuff, if you do need to be tested for, I know that we want to touch on diabetes later on, go to see your GP and obviously get a proper test for your diabetes or any other health concerns that you may have. A lot of this stuff is completely safe. Like anything you have in excess is going to do you harm. That's a no-brainer, that one. Like your carbohydrates, anything like sugars will kill you. But this stuff is readily available. We're talking over the counter. We're talking supplement stores. I am not going to go down the illicit track of steroid use or tren or all of the growth hormones, the GH what are they called? Yeah, growth hormones. I will not go down that track tonight. That's a conversation for a different day. We're talking legal, over the counter. You can send your kids in to pick this stuff up. All right. So first things first, I want to look at what exactly supplements are. Basically, like I said, anything that you can add to your existing intake that will impact your body in XYZ, right? So it's usually nutrient based. So we all know a protein powder. You can also get carbohydrate powders. Multidextrin is a big one. That's actually a big ingredient for homebrew. Any homebrewers out there, you know all about the multidextrin, multidextrose, one of the two. I'm not a homebrewer, as you can tell. Obviously, there's various types: pills, powders, liquids, injectables. Again, I am not going to go down the injectable route. We're going to keep things very, very PG tonight. There might be a few little swears here and there, but you know, let's call it passion. I'm going to do my best not to swear. Quite hard for me if anybody knows who I am. Cool. So we're looking at, first things first, let's start on a protein powder. So protein supplements, everybody knows protein. We're going to get this out of the way nice and early because it is such a huge topic to cover, as well as, you know, everybody knows it. It's quite common. Yeah. So obviously they're designed to help repair the muscle, generally ingested post-workout. You see a lot of guys and girls carry around just an empty protein shaker. They'll top that up as they leave the gym or they leave their boot camp. Top it up, down the protein shake straight afterwards. The second option for that one is to actually break your fast. Now, back in the day, and this is the way the industry is changing, a lot of the science is showing that it is best to break your fast with either a lean protein or a lean fat, a lean protein or a good quality fat. So protein shakes, and we're talking a lean protein, so not necessarily a WPC, but like a WPI. Looking at no added sugars with this one. In terms of types of protein, actually, no, we'll go down the pros and cons first. So what I've done tonight is I'll put together a little bit of a slideshow here. So what it's for, best time to ingest, the pros and cons, and my number one pick for each topic. As we said, best ingested post-workout or to break your fast. Pros, it's a really good source of quick calories. Now, you will only really use a protein powder if you are struggling to hit your protein requirements for the day or for the time frame that you're looking at. And I know most people will look at that 24-hour period from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. I tend to take a different approach to that. I look at time spent between meals. So let's say from meal 1 to 2, you burn 500 odd calories. So you're going to need to maintain 500 calories. Yes, you need to intake exactly what you're expending. Yeah, you following me so far? If we want to lose weight, we obviously drop that back. If you want to gain weight, we add on. So it's calories in versus calories out. Not quite as simple as that, but that's the bones of it anyway. Protein, if you're struggling to get your protein goals and your carbohydrates and your fats for that matter, if you're struggling to hit your macronutrient goals, this is where protein powder can come in to help get that protein level back up. In terms of what to look for though, I mean, we're looking at, you need to understand your goals. There's plenty of types out there. General terms, Australia, New Zealand products are the best in terms of protein, at least. We'll cover some of the American products later on, because obviously it is a quite a big market. America's quite lenient, shall we say, when it comes to their, I think it's FDA. I think the Yanks call it. Just got a quick question from Dave. Now, like I said, this is completely interactive. So if you do have a question, feel free to throw it up. Dave says, when you break your fast, if you're doing intermittent fasting, is there any timing between when you have a protein shake and when you eat any other food? Personally, it's about an hour or half hour to an hour. So protein shake or lean protein, it doesn't have to be a protein shake, but some sort of protein or fat to break the fast, leave it, half hour to an hour. That's me personally, and everybody's going to have a different opinion on this one. Half hour to an hour, and then you can start to, depending on which track you want to go down, if you want to go down that keto approach, there's no real time frame because all you're going to be eating is proteins and fats anyway. But if you do want to introduce carbohydrates into the body, yeah, about that half hour to an hour mark. They do have a really long shelf life protein, back on track for this one. Really long shelf life. It's in powder form, so it's going to sit on the cupboard, provided the tub is still sealed. They're going to last for months and months and months. The cons, they can be expensive depending on where you go, and stay with me on this one because our VIP group, I want to expand on supplements within our VIP group. If you're actually, just on that, if you're not in our VIP group, feel free, shoot me a private message. I will add you in. I'm going to limit our supplement talk just to our VIPs or our supplement discounts anyway. Like I said, they can be expensive, and the labels can be really confusing in terms of what you're actually looking for. That's what I'm going to go down here, is understanding your goals. So if we're looking at a quick release protein, something post-workout, for example, we tend to go for like a WPI, whey protein isolate. It's in the system sort of an hour to, depending on what type you get, hour to sort of 3 hours post, down in the shake. I'm just going to make a quick move over there. Awesome. Just so I can see our comments. Alrighty, so you look at time frame, the release, the digestion rate, sorry, is what I'm looking for. The slower the digestion rate, more of like a casein protein, so that's more of like an overnight release. You can actually sub this out for, it has been compared to a full cream milk in terms of slow release with nutritional qualities. So your casein protein, you can actually get casein custard now, which is absolutely awesome. Tastes delicious. That's about an 8-hour release, so down a shake before bed. That will see your protein levels throughout the night and pick you up first thing in the morning. The next fastest release we're looking at is a WPC, whey protein concentrate. About a 5-hour release, 5 to 7 hour release. So this is, it's not quite as, I'm going to say lean. Lean's not the word I want, but I'm going to run with it anyway. It's not quite as lean as your WPIs or your hydrolyzed proteins, but it does have its place. It's very, let's say, meal orientated. So if you're going to have generally a high carbohydrate meal, you need to add and complement that with your protein. So WPC might come in handy there if you know you're not going to be eating again for another 5 hours or so, right? It definitely has its place, and there are some great tasting WPCs out there. Next fastest is, like I said, your WPI, whey protein isolate. So the shorter, the faster the digestion, the shorter the amino chains are in the protein, right? And generally the more expensive it becomes. So it's obviously been more processed. So your WPI in the system, nice and quick, post-workout within the hour. The next step up from that again is your hydrolyzed protein. So that's the shorter amino chains, shortest you can get, unless I'm missing something in the last 12 months or so. If you've got an even better option than a hydrolyzed protein, shoot me a message and let me know. I'm always interested in supplementation. But your hydrolyzed is bang, instant in the bloodstream, in the digestion system, sorry. My pick for this one is from a company called Rule 1. I love this stuff. I went through a stage a couple of years back. My WPC blend just wasn't sitting right in the tummy. So we went down the track of plant-based proteins and beef proteins and all that sort of stuff. We actually found like just a regular old hydrolyzed protein from Rule 1, sat really nicely in the tummy, blends quite well, relatively inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. being hydrolyzed, it is a higher price point, but understanding that it is quite an affordable product. Just on a side note there, these are dairy-based, they're animal products. Little Miss Muffet, she sat on a tub, curds and whey, right? Curds and whey, they're byproducts of the cheese making process. So your whey is actually taking away the protein itself. And that's where whey, W-H-E-Y, that's where that comes from. There are vegetarian and vegan options out there. Unfortunately, they're not quite at the stage where your whey-based proteins are in terms of blendability and just general taste. And there are some good products out there. They've come so far in the last sort of 12 months, 18 months or so. If there are any vegetarians or vegans watching this one, take a look at a company called Prana. Tell you what, shoot me a message and I'll put you onto a little a shop that you can actually scroll through and have a look at Prana themselves. That would probably be my pick for a vegetarian or vegan. Prana. For anybody else, Rule 1 is the way to go. Personally, everybody else has their preference. Again, what to look for: Australian, New Zealand products, taste, price per serve, and goals. Will it complement your goals? That is, for the most part, a lot of protein covered. Let's move on to this one. I was hoping to get this done in half an hour. I don't think we're going to get there. Pre-workouts. As the name suggests, you're going to have this before you work out. Usually 30 minutes. If you don't have any in the stomach, you can probably get away with 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on what brand you're using. It's going to be nice and quick into the bloodstream. It is a stimulant. Most of them are stimulants designed to increase either your physical performance or your mental performance, or both. They're always good. Pros, they're always good to just to add a bit of intensity, I guess is the phrase that I'm looking for. Add the intensity to your workouts or to your task or your just performance in general. Most of which have extremely low calories, right? So it's literally a scoop of whatever one you're using. Cons, prolonged use can be quite harmful. I know from personal experience, if you're on various stimulants for too long, and you can generally tell, personally, the gums start to creep up away from the teeth. They tend to retract back into the head a little bit. When that starts to happen, and you'll see it, the gums will bleed a little bit through brushing your teeth and just general soreness. That's sort of a big telltale sign that, hey, you got to stop this cycle here. So you do need to cycle them. Generally speaking, they come in about a 30 serve tub. So about month on, month off, you should be pretty sweet with that one. There is a high chemical usage in these pre's. A lot of them are, they're loaded with chemicals and stimulants and so on and so forth. So with that being in mind, I don't actually use a pre-workout. My pick is as a black coffee. Next to no calories in that one. It is stimulant based, it is caffeine, but that's about all you'll get out of that one. Moving on, next one, we're looking at intra-workouts or BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. So these ones, you're going to have this through your workout or during your workout, during higher intensity. If you've got a gym membership or, you're coming to the boot camps, you'll see a few people walk around with generally fluoro-colored liquids in their water bottle. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be your BCAAs, your branched chain amino acids, designed to reduce the use of proteins as an energy source. So you're going to have your, basically, giving you a better chance to save the muscle. Your body will always use the easiest energy source, shall we say. So usually that's sugars. Once that's broken down, depending on the intensity, you're either going to go body fat or lean muscle. And I will touch on that later on as well. But your intra-workouts, think of them as a pre-digested protein. So once you take them, they're instantly into the blood. Well, not instantly, but straight away into the bloodstream. And once your glucose levels are depleted, they will start on the BCAAs. Your body will start to chew away the BCAAs instead of the proteins muscle, right? These are brilliant. We use these every day. Personally, those big, I don't know what they are, 2.2 liter, big jugs that I used to get from Nutrition Warehouse and all the supplement stores. Top one of them up with BCAAs, suck on it all day. It's brilliant, cool. Freeze them. Summer's coming up. You can actually get some really great tasting flavors and use them as ice blocks. Cons. Again, watch out for the hidden sugars. A lot of these there are some really good ones, and your BCAAs have come a really long way in terms of credibility. But there are still products out there, particularly American products, that do have a higher sugar rate. Not all American products, I'm stereotyping here, and the labels can be quite confusing in this one. My pick for this one is Revive, a company called Genetics Nutrition. Absolutely brilliant. Very, very low sugars, tastes delicious. Just on that one though, the serving size for that is 3 scoops per, I believe it's about 600 ml of water. Halve it. A lot of them are quite sweet, but that just means you get to drag it out even longer. Next one through. Others, anything else here that we're going to look at here? Test boosters, E3 blockers, so beta blockers, sleep aids, multivitamins. All of these sort of things, they're technically a supplement, so they're over the counter. They do have an effect. However, I would personally get checked with your GP first of all if you need these. You see so many guys in particular will be looking at test boosters, in their early 20s or even 30s. Testosterone doesn't really start to drop off, and there are exceptions here. Testosterone doesn't really start to drop off until you sort of that 40 onward range. Then you can start looking at test boosters. Again, get tested. See if you actually do have a low test level before you start to use this, because if you are supplementing with testosterone, generally the body will slow down its own production of that, and it can be quite harmful down the track. E3 blockers, beta blockers work hand in hand with test boosters. It's basically an estrogen blocker. So the 2 main hormones in the body for the male and female hormones: testosterone for guys, estrogen for ladies. They work hand in hand. Everybody has them, both male and female. Guys just have a high level of testosterone. Women have a high level of estrogen. So hence why it is so much easier for guys to gain muscle than women. But generally speaking, if you're supplementing with one, you need to supplement with the other. Generally, right? There are exceptions, like I said. Sleep aids, right? This is a big. It's a lot of talking going on. Sleep aids, generally, sleep aids in terms of supplements. Personally, I don't necessarily look into them as such. There's better options out there. And we deal with this a lot with our coaching program. We look at the psychology. So anybody in our coaching program will know we deal a lot with the psychology and how to get a better night's sleep. And there's a few little tricks that you can do before you start looking at supplements. Multivitamins, personally, they're a bit of a waste of time, the multivitamins. Again, look at your regular nutrition before you start to look at these. If you're lacking in, say, iron, for example, maybe supplement with an iron supplement. However, with that, you need to understand that you need to look at your B vitamin group as well, because if you're low in iron, if you're low in B vitamins, the iron struggles to be absorbed by the system. So it's all working hand in hand. Hence why they come up with the multivitamin tablet. It's just a one-hit wonder. Again, it's pretty much expensive urine. If you're eating right, you don't necessarily need extra vitamins in the system. You're just going to pass it out. And like I said, get tested before you start to use these particular ones, the test and the E3 blockers. Yeah, they can be harmful if used incorrectly. Alrighty, fat burners. Fat burners are a fun one because this is what everybody wants to hear. We all want to get lean. We all want to do, we all want the abs. We all want tone. We all want all this sort of stuff. Okay, they're designed to increase the burn of body fat. Duh, right? Okay, as the name suggests. There's various options out there. The most common one, and this is the one I'm going to touch on here, is a thermogenic. So us being warm-blooded, the way we keep our body warm is a process called thermogenesis, right? So, and I talk about this with our one-on-ones as well. So the more muscle mass you have, we're essentially vibrating. How we keep warm is a series of, think of it like a microscopic contraction and release through the muscle, right? With the more muscle mass that we gain, the more calories are required to keep us vibrating. So we want to try and increase our core body temperature and burning more calories, right? So that's where the I've lost all my train of thought on that one. That's where the thermogenic supplements come in handy. They can increase your core body temperature, it causes the body to try and cool down a little bit. That's burning more calories, and the theory being that you're going to lose more weight. You'll probably find you'll sweat a little bit more as well, which is always fun. I love the nice sweaty sessions. Best time to ingest these either on an empty stomach or pre-workout. And now the reason I don't use a pre-workout is because of these fat burners. You can actually get a stimulant-based fat burner, right? Whatever stimulant is loaded into the fat burner, it varies so much. But there's plenty of options out there to suit your lifestyle and you suit your needs. Cons, look, if your nutrition isn't spot on, it's not going to do anything. If you're living off KFC and Macca's and all the junk food, a thermo isn't going to do anything. A fat burner is just a waste of time. I would not use these if you have a heart condition because of the increased stress to the heart. It's obviously going to put a little bit of pressure through the cardiovascular system. And again, most of these are high in chemicals. My pick for these is a brand new product called Keto OS Nat. That's these little bad boys here. I've spoken about these things in the past. Let me promise you that if you take anything away from tonight, let it be this. These things are a genuine game changer. Trouble is, you're not going to find these over the counter at any sort of supplement store. If you do want some, let me know and I will put an order in for you. They are coming from the US, which is one of the reasons why we had to move this webinar forward. If you're doing our 8-week challenge starting in about 2 to 3 weeks, it will generally take 2 to 3 weeks to get yourself, started on those ones coming from Texas, I believe they are. So, guys, if you want one of those, or if you want a packet of them, you need to message me tonight. I will get in contact with you tomorrow. We'll talk about getting you set up on that one. But these things are brilliant. They work well with, I'm on a bit of a keto fix at the moment. When I say they're revolutionizing the entire fitness industry, I mean that. So traditionally, we spoke about this a little while ago. What was commonly known as as fact was the only energy source the body would use was sugar, right? We are recently discovering that you can actually prioritize body fat. And we knew we could use body fat as an energy source, but we're actually getting to the stage now where we can prioritize it and genuinely prioritize it. So these things, if you're diabetic, I would seriously do your research before you even consider these, because they work so much around your glucose levels and your insulin levels. Anybody else, they are perfectly safe. There's a lot of talk out there about ketones being dangerous. They're not. You can find anything on the internet. You can find facts for or against. That is my pick. That is my go-to supplement at the moment. Cool. What have I got? A special offer. So we are about to wrap this up. So if you have registered through Zoom, I can't find my guest list at the moment, but I will have it here. If you've registered through Zoom, I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to put together a stack of supplements for you. We call them a stack. So something that's going to work in together with not only your regular nutrition, but working with your other supplements as well. We're going to look at how, when you're going to use these supplements, and yeah, put together the best options for you. Look, I have been working in with one of the online supplement stores. So they've actually given me discount links to a lot of supplements out there, some of which I was fooling around the website the other day, some of which are upwards of 70% off, which is huge savings. Guys, tell you what, if you want me to find a product for you, let me know. I will send you a personalized link, and we will we'll hook that up for you, see what sort of savings we can get from you, because I know supplements can be expensive. Guys, if you do want to try this Keto OS, again, let me know ASAP. Our 8-week challenge starts in about 2.5 weeks. I'm hoping if you put the order in tomorrow, I'm hoping you should have these by then. For me, it took about 2 and a bit weeks. So fingers crossed. All right, guys, before we wrap up, are there any other questions that I haven't covered that you would like taken care of? Feel free to type away, and we will, we're probably going to do our best to answer these for you. I'll give you a couple of minutes there. Anything at all, guys, before we wrap up? All right, I'm going to say that's a no. So cool. All right, guys. Again, thank you all for coming along, for watching this through Zoom. Guys, I'm going to be in contact with you tomorrow. We're going to find a time we can sit down and work out what your supplement stack is. Again, personalized around your goals. Your budget is another big one. We'll see what sort of prices we can find for you, and what sort of works for you. What sort of supplements will work in together. Facebook, guys, thank you so much for coming along. There will be a recording up on YouTube, so the YouTube guys, if you're watching a recording of this, feel free to reach out. Again, our VIP group is open, guys. So if you're not currently in our VIP group, let me know. I'm going to be posting random discount codes throughout that for some serious discounts on various supplements. That's the one we're looking at. Awesome, guys. Have a good night. I'm going to wrap this up, and we will see you all. Yeah, we'll see you all when I'm looking at you. How's that sound?